Well, the Escalade check engine light is on, and I need to take it through emissions, so I got to get the light turned off. And so I put my scanner on it, and we are reading a P0449, which is the vent valve solenoid circuit. So I'm pretty sure that error is the canister in the back that's above the spare tire, but I'm going to check a few things just to make sure, because the little purge valves up front, they go bad on these too, but that should be a different code. So what I'm going to do is disconnect the purge valve and then fire the vehicle back up and then look for the codes and see if the codes change. If it adds a code, then I'll know that the purge valve is reading okay, and then most likely it's going to be that vent valve, but it should be a different code on the purge valve. So we'll get set up, I'll disconnect it, start it back up, and we'll read the codes. Alright, so just to be sure that it's not a purge valve, which I'm pretty sure it's not, it's easy to check. So we just got to take our heat shield off, and then right up behind here is the connector. Right behind that harness right there is the connector to the purge valve. It's got a little blue end on it. See right there? So what I'm going to do is disconnect that and then start up the vehicle, and then we'll see if it puts up a different code. If it does, then it's going to tell me that the purge valve is still working, and then most likely it's just this vent valve. So we'll go back in here and fire it back up and then see what the codes read. Alright, so we're started back up. I got the purge valve up there disconnected, and so now with the code reader reading, get zoomed in on it, you can see that it still has the P0449, but now it's got an extra code. It's got the P0443. So that code is when the purge valve is not working up front. So we can see we didn't have that code before. The other one is just pending. We didn't have that code, we just had this P0449. So purge valve looks okay. It's at least connected, and now we can go to the back and see if we can figure out why the vent valve's not working. So we'll get it set up, take it off, and change it out. Not too hard, it's just right up above the spare tire. So the hardest part is usually getting the spare tire off, and we'll get this thing swapped out and see if we can get our check engine light turned off. Alright, so that canister for the vent valve is hiding up above the spare tire, and so what we got to do is get the spare tire down. So in case you never took the spare tire down, the tools are inside underneath this little cover right here that sits over on the driver's side in a little bag, and what's inside of there is all the tools it takes to get all the way down in the tube to get the spare tire off. So we'll get set up down here, and we'll drop the spare tire down, and then we'll be ready to crawl up under there and look at this valve. Alright, so getting the spare tire down is not too difficult. Little finger's right under there, so you can take your fingernails and pop that out. Or if you don't have your fingernails, you can reach up behind it and just push it, and it'll come out. So then you just grab your key, because most of these have locks on them. So put your key in there, and well, guess what? Somebody has tried to steal my spare tire, because they have ruined my key lock. Doggone it. So as you can see, somebody has tried to get my spare tire. There's always something. Alright, well, I'm going to have to try to get that off there so I can get my spare tire out. So let me try to pick it, or I may have to drill it out. We'll see. Hang on just a minute. It's messed up too bad. We're just going to have to drill it out. There we go. Oh, always nice when somebody wants to try to steal something. So now we can continue on. Alright, so to get the spare tire out, what you gotta have is the the little guys that come with the jack, and you're going to need the jack. And so what you do is you don't use the one that's got the little funny looking end on it. That's for changing the tire, I guess. I don't know what you do with it. But so we need these two. And so what we're going to do is just connect them up so you can get some distance. And then the one that's got the big square slides down into the hole, goes down in the tube, and you'll feel it engage into the crank. Then you just have to put your cranker guy on there, like an under so, and we're just gonna hopefully crank him down. Alright, so this spare tire can be really annoying to get off here, and you're thinking, how the heck? So I just figured I'd show it because this is one of the more aggravating things about this design. So what you have to do is reach up under the tire. I got it on a rolly thing. Imagine doing this in the side of the road, but you pinch this little thing and let it fall through. It's hitting my board right now. And then you take this thing and push it down. There we go. And then you turn it sideways. Aye, it's so aggravating. How they designed me. You gotta push that thing there, get it down in there, and then turn it all sideways. And tip the little hat up through the hole. There. Then all of that will come out and you can get the spare tire off. So annoying, but it is what it is. Alright, so let's get the tire out of the way. We'll switch the camera up to the top and we'll look at this vent valve. Alright, so there is our little canister hiding up under there. But the first thing I notice is that the hose is dry rotted right here. So before I go blaming my little canister, I'm gonna cut the end of that off and push that hose back up on there and just see if maybe it's just because it's leaking. So we'll cut that off there. And then I'm going to take this little hose and I'm going to shove it back up on there. There we go. So now we got our hose back on there, so let's fire it up and see what it does. And then I'm going to hit clear. So it says emission related diagnostics has been cleared. So there we go. So now let's read our codes. And it's still showing the 449. Showing it pending and it's showing it current. So I'm going to restart it and see what it does. OBD diagnose. It's not picking up some modules. Let's read codes. So it's still showing it as a current code. So although the little pipe was bad, that wasn't what was causing the fault. So our little canister is still suspect. So we will take the little canister off and then we're going to see what he's about. So we'll be back here underneath the cart and we'll pull the canister off because apparently it wasn't just a bad hose. Alright, we'll be back. That was torn did not fix the problem, so we got to take this guy off. So pull that back loose, so that comes off. That goes to the charcoal canister, and then over on this side is a connector. If this is the first time ever getting this canister off, the connector has got a little red thing on it that's not going to let you take it off unless you break it out of there. So we got to get it loose, and it's really hard to get to. So the easiest thing typically is to just grab the guy and walk him off of that little thing that's holding him. that, then you can spin it down and kind of see that connector right there. So the connector's got to pop off, but that red thing is keeping it on there, and you got to figure out how to get that out. So what we need is a little screwdriver so we can pry up on it and pop that out so we can get that connector off there. There we go. Now we got our little red thing out. And we ought to be able to pinch it and pull it right out there. So you pinch it on that little black part right there, but that red thing is preventing you from doing it. So you first have to pry that little red thing out of there, and then you got it made. With the connector loose and the hose loose, the only hose left is this one right here. Fortunately, it feels like this pipe's in pretty good shape. There we go. This is the vent that goes up by the gas tank. So there we go. So we got our little end cut off. We got our hoses loose. So now all we got to do is replace our little canister. So we'll get set up on the bench over here, and we'll see what's about this little canister here that might have gone bad. Alright, so what's so special about this thing that it's going to turn my check engine light on and make me where I can't pass emissions? Well, we'll just take it apart and see. So there's not much to it actually, so you just pop his little head off. Get it to come off there. And inside of there is an O-ring that seals it, and just basically a little butterfly catcher, and nothing else in there. So as you can see, it doesn't do a whole lot. So how's the car getting upset because this thing is not doing what it's supposed to do? Well, the car doesn't know what it's doing really. It can detect the leaks downstream, but it can't really tell what this is doing. All the car knows is this little solenoid is not working. And so how do we know the solenoid's not working? Well, since it's a little coil, it ought to have some resistance. And so if I put my meter on it, I ought to register something when I go to cross these poles right here. So let me just touch it, and this will tell you whether or not it's bad. I've already checked it, but as you can see, there's no resistance across the two little poles. No matter where I set it, I'm not getting any resistance. So what's happened is the little coils burn out, and the car can detect that, and so that's what's turning the check engine light on, is that the little coil inside of there is burnt out, so it can't open and close the valve. So it's just open all the time. So not rocket science. All it is just a little butterfly catcher that opens and closes to let the air flow into the charcoal canister. So we already checked it and we knew it was bad, so headed over to the AutoZone and we picked something new. Now, if you're fortunate, like my 2008 here, they had the whole kit. So it's a P0449 is the kit. So I don't have to worry about trying to get these hoses back on here. I don't have to worry about that one that I cut off. All of that comes in the kit. And let me just tell you, for $10 more, it's worth it versus just buying the little bitty guy, because it comes even with the adapter and a new bracket that you can just slip this guy on your old bracket, or you can replace the bracket out if you want to. That goes on another car. I don't need that. So what we got is the whole assembly. It did cost a little bit. It's like 80 bucks. But it's got the new little guy, and it's got that one that I cut right there, so I don't have to worry about trying to get that back up on. This snorkel goes all the way up to where you put gas in the vehicle, and so it's just going to zip tie up there. That's easy. And I got a new hose, so the new hose comes with it, because that was the other hose that was torn, so I got a new hose. And it's got the quick pop that makes it real easy to pop it onto your charcoal canisters. So there we go. So we want to see what's the difference. And if we look, remember over on the old one, we didn't get any resistance on our contacts, and so the little coil's bad and the car's detecting. So if we see right here, when we check the good one and we put across the poles, you'll see that we get resistance. So we get 0.021 kiloohms. So hopefully you can see that. I'll hold it up this way. So you just want to put your leads across it and see, then you'll get some resistance. So about 0.021 kiloohms. So that tells you right there that the little coil inside of there is good, and the car is going to be able to detect it. The reason why the car was throwing the code is because this little coil is bad. So there we go. All we got to do is just reinstall that guy, and like I say, that's the part number that gets you the whole kit. So a lot nicer to do it that way. You don't have to fight with the pipes or anything like that. And all we got to do is reinstall it, and then we'll clear the codes out once we do the reinstall, and we'll be able to take it over to emissions and get it inspected. Alright, we'll be back once we get it installed. We're back in the car after our reinstall. So you can see our check engine light is still on, and what we got to do is clear the codes now. So we're going to read our codes, and there we go. So there we still have our error, and it's our only one. It's current. So now let's go back, and we want to erase the codes. We got it set, so let's erase our codes. And there we go. So now let's read our codes. And we have no codes found. Alright, so let's give it a start up and see if it turns off our check engine light. And there we go. So all it was that little vent canister. We got the new one replaced down there. So we're good to go now. We got no more faults. So we'll take our receipt and put it in the glove box, because we got a lifetime warranty on this one. And we'll call this project done. Well, alrighty. Well, thanks for watching.